I think Leo Malet and Jacques Tardi complement each other. Leo Malet writes an excellent noir story, and Jacques Tardi draws excellent atmospheric but gritty illustrations, noir illustrations. Hi, I'm Annie and it is Thursday. This means it is Eurocomic Thursday. Every Thursday I talk about a European comic or a graphic novel. And today I'm talking about Fog Over Tolbiac Bridge, which is written by Jacques Tardi. The screen scenario is written by Jacques Tardi, but the original novel is written by Leo Malet, and Jacques Tardi drew the illustrations for this graphic novel. This story is about Nestor Burma. And Nestor Burma is a private investigator, a French private investigator who gets a letter. And in this letter, someone writes that old friends are in danger, but he doesn't recognize the name of the sender of the letter, so he investigates. And he stumbles upon some intrigues and some dark stuff going on. He stumbles upon murder, and there is a beautiful lady as well. I enjoyed myself tremendously with this graphic novel. The story is excellent, it's atmospheric, it has a typical 1950s noir feel to it. This graphic novel was the first graphic novel in the Nestor Burma series. There are other Nestor Burma stories, but it is the 9th Nestor Burma novel Leo Malet wrote. Nestor Burma is a cynical, hard-boiled detective. You can compare him to American noir detectives like Sam Spade and Philip Marlowe. And it is noir at its best. The weather is always bad. There is some cynical humor going on and some sarcastic some sarcastic things said in this noir graphic novel. The illustrations are gloomy. The structure of the story is very good, and Tardi does a good job of adapting this story for a graphic novel, I think. There is not a lot of room for character development in this graphic novel, but the character of Nestor Burma is reasonably well developed. There we see some of the emotions Nestor Burma has in it, but the story is more concentrated on story and detecting than that it is a fast-paced, action-packed graphic novel. Although there is some fast-paced action scenes in it as well. Leo Malet puts in some of his youth memories in his stories, in this story, and in other stories, Nestor Burma stories he wrote as well. In his youth, he met some anarchistic people, and he has Nestor Burma set in an anarchistic environment as well. So Leo Malet has some experiences in that as well. Jacques Tardi is a well-known French comic book artist, graphic novel book artist, and he likes to set his stories in historical perspective. He is well known for his First World War graphic novels, and a lot of stories that he writes and draws are set during this period in time, or not long after the First World War. And he also likes his characters to be cynical or have a dry sense of humor. So he has that in common with Leo Malet. So they are a good match. Maybe this story isn't for everybody. You have to like the gritty aspect of the story, as well as the gray and gritty drawing style of the story. You have to like a good, cynical, hard-boiled detective story as well. I can show you some of the illustrations, like these. There are really some excellent illustrations, but you have to like them. But don't worry if you don't like them, because I didn't like them at first either, and they grew on me as I read more of Tardi's stories, graphic novels and comics. I liked them more and more, and the illustrations started to grow on me. Let's see if I can find some other typical illustrations. I have to censor the boobies because I do not think YouTube likes nudity. The characters are very typical Jacques Tardi. And there's also a map of where the scenes are set in. It's set in Paris, so that is nice to know, and you can visit these locations for yourself if you like it. I remember I had a teacher in school who read who liked the Tardi stories, and he collected the Isabel Avondrood comics. I think in English it is called, and in French it is called The Extraordinary Adventures of Adèle Blanc-Sec. I intend to review this series in the near future, this year anyway, as well. And he visited all of the locations where the stories of Adèle Blanc-Sec are set in. So that can be extremely fun. I didn't do this myself, but he found all locations in the Adèle Blanc-Sec series as well. So that's maybe something fun to do. So don't worry if you like don't like his drawings. Don't expect from this comic. Don't expect an action-packed detective story. Just these stories. This story concentrates more on the detective side than hard-boiled. Yeah, it's hard-boiled, but there are some action scenes in it, but that's not the main part of the stories. So the story, well, it's written in the 1950s, and it wasn't a fast-paced time, the 1950s, not in France probably anyway. So pick this book up, graphic novel up, if you enjoy it. So, do you like hard-boiled detectives? And what do you think are for you the most important elements in a graphic novel or a comic book? Do you prefer the drawing style over the story, or do you prefer the story over the drawing style, or is it a combination of both? Let me know in the comments below. It's just below the like button. When I go to a comic book store, I let the subject matter and the illustrations decide what I buy, although I prefer a good story over the illustrations. I also, when I see a new comic or graphic novel by a writer who I like very much, that's also what I take into consideration before buying a comic book or graphic novel. So I'd like to know, what's your strategy of comic book and graphic novel buying? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.